As I begin to film this breakdown, Space Jam is still trending #1, hours after the trailer debuted this morning, Saturday morning cartoon time. It's so great. I'm so excited to break this down with you. And I think the reason it's been trending for so long is that it gave us an awful lot to talk about, because this is just jam-packed with Warner Brothers goodness. AKA IPs. They dumped it all out into this movie. And the other thing that's trending, by the way, is Ready Player One, with a lot of people saying that this is very similar to that film, which borrowed from a lot of Universal IP. And they had pretty good IP, but they don't have the depth that Warner Brothers and Disney has. Now, Disney's interesting because Disney has, well, it has Star Wars and Marvel now. And, by the way, Wreck-It Ralph 2 also was the same way as these movies, which is really fun. And I would also say DC Fandom had a little bit of a similar feel too, this ability to enter these worlds. But Warner Brothers has real, not only depth, but variety. I mean, they reference the Maltese Falcon, Wizard of Oz, and whatever happened to Baby Jane in here. I mean, as a film fan, that is just phenomenal. That's fantastic. So we're going to go over all this. I'm going to try and point out as many as I was able to find. If I miss one that you spotted, be sure to share it down below. All right, so let's get started. This is going to be fun. It's so great. It's just such a well put together movie. So we start out with LeBron James's home. Now, he said he's playing a heightened, fictionalized version of himself. So here he's living large, but he still's got his problems. Because there's his son who would apparently rather play games about basketball than play the sport itself. And his father just doesn't understand him. Now, producer Ryan Coogler recently said in an interview that this is going to be an examination of Black fatherhood and LeBron James's own feelings about fatherhood because he has 3 sons in real life. One actually the same age as this character, although apparently he likes basketball quite a bit. If you were the son of LeBron James with those connections, you would find a way to love basketball if it didn't come to you naturally. But for the purposes of this movie, we need some kind of obstacle and character arcs. He does not like, his fictional son does not care for it. I think this is great. I think for far too long there have been really unfortunate stereotypes about Black fatherhood, so I think it's really fantastic to change that. And by the way, most of the creative team here is Black, and I think that's really strong to be able to produce, because Black film has been popular for a while. The director here has made a number of those movies. But this is leveling up to another Black Panther, speaking of Ryan Coogler, to being able to deliver, well, we'll see how it does at the box office. I suspect it'll do quite well, even though some people are hating on it, which I find unfortunate. But I think that this is, I think it's to, I don't think they want Hollywood to put Black talent in a box. They want to say, Black talent, like any talent, can make anything. So I think this is really fantastic, and this movie is just firing on all cylinders. So congratulations to everyone who was working on it. All right, so back to the breakdown. So he's sitting in his mansion, unhappy. He's like, I can help you get there. With basketball, your basketball camp's coming up. I wonder why they would. I know why you would launch tennis balls so you could practice hitting them, but I don't know why you would launch a basketball. Besides the fact that it's super cool. So they're on the court, and he does really not want to be there. So they get into this. I like this. He's like, you just don't understand me. And they get out here on this weird floor, which is ALG. Now that's Don Cheadle's character, who is Algae. Rhythm for algorithm, get it? But that's his logo. I love it. He's got his own branding. So they come out in the he's like, wrong floor. I love the graphics and the visual effects on this. Warner Brothers. Oh, look, Warner is using the 3000. Tony Stark's like, that's mine. Warner's like, we love ourselves 3000. But Warner Brothers, they just had Godzilla vs. Kong come out. Zack Snyder's Justice League. They really are. They're becoming dominant in the visual effects area. Like they can do anything, as you can see. So they're wandering around this giant server room, and his son wanders too far. Oh, I like LeBron's line here. He's like, I bet Will Smith doesn't have to deal with this. I thought that was great. Will Smith's probably like, why aren't I in this movie? All right. So he goes after his son, and I love this. He has so many great pop culture references. Usually movies can't do that because they don't want to pay for it. You have to pay if you want to reference something. But we in real life often will reference pop culture. So I think it gives it actually more of a realistic feel. You have to strike the right tone. You don't want to seem like you're, advertising, like you're just pushing your own IP, which they are doing. But you want to make it seem organic. And I think from this trailer, at least, the movie seems to be succeeding there. It seems like a well-written script for something that has 4 writers. So he's like, what in the Matrix hell is this? And he gets sucked in, and now we start to see some IP. So first we go right away, Game of Thrones. The last season was just so awful, but I spent so much time with that, not only watching it, but covering it. I got a soft spot for it. I wanted to come back. I like the idea of this Broadway show they have coming up. Look at that light up logo. It just looks so cool. Of course, that's so perfect. And the whole intro to the show was a map. So sticking it on a planet is just a great idea. So I love that. So we go past the Game of Thrones planet. I'm like, I want to stop. I want to go to some of these planets. But instead we go through Wizard of Oz. And this is so clever. So we go through the Wizard of Oz planet. And look, there's a black and white section in Kansas. Oh, that's so great. And I want to point out that even though the talent here behind the camera is, mostly black talent, they're referencing all of Hollywood, classics. That actually ties into the conversation that John David Washington has in Malcolm and Marie that I really liked, where black talent doesn't want to always be compared to other black talent and have their films compared to other black films. They're, all people who want to make film are students of film and love all of it. So I think that's really fantastic. So this is such a clever reference. So right through the tornado. Oh, it's so great. I love it. Oh, wow. That's just really clever. So here's Algie Rhythm, a.k.a. Don Cheadle. And he's like, you might be the king out. You might be King James, but I'm king in here. Sounds like someone's a little jealous. So we have more planets. All right. So I wasn't sure what this one was, but it's the Matrix. Doesn't look totally familiar, so maybe that has to play into the new movie. But so that's the Matrix planet. Very excited for Matrix 4. All right, so and then we go into the Serververse, which I think they could have come up with a better name for it. But anyway, here's the Warner Brothers logo. Again, if you really like film, this is like being a kid in a candy shop. So it's like, where's my son? And he's like, if you want him, you're going to have to play for him. And that's a picture of LeBron and his sons, by the way. He's like, I've only got one of them, but, the one you're having problems with. So he's like, send him to the rejects. All right, so look at this. This right here. This is great. So we start out Hogwarts. You can see Hogwarts there, right? What's Orbit City? Oh, I forgot to look that up before I started. All right, so Hogwarts. We go through a couple of them. So you got to really go through frame by frame. Westeros. Bedrock is in there. Gotham. Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. It's so much stuff. It's an embarrassment of riches, and it's embarrassing they don't do a better job with all these riches. Thundera, that's a Thundercats reference. Adam Wingard just signed on to do the movie, so that's so cool. It's in here already. Let's see here. Emerald City, the Themyscira. It's not. I think it's funny. It's not its own. Although you'll see Gotham and Metropolis. Oh, I don't want to give it away. Wait till we get there. So Toon World, and I'm like, whoa, why are Looney Tunes the rejects? I guess they're like Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with them. That's funny. So okay, so there he goes. Woo! Bye. And I love this. Going through the Looney Tunes symbol is so clever, really smart, and it makes you animated because before he goes through, the world looks like a real place. And then it goes through and you get to 2D animation. I'm like, can we go through that? Can we go to that planet for Disney? Because I missed their 2D animation. So he lands, and look, it creates a basketball hoop when he lands. I love it. They don't waste a moment. It's so great. So then he's a cartoon, and oh no, look. He does cartoon way to get himself tall again. I think that's so clever. Ooh, Malcolm D. Lee, stepping up to the big time and slam dunking it. All right, so look, more planets. Maltese Falcon. I'm like, is that a film noir planet? Please, let's go down there. What does that say at the bottom even? I can't even quite make that out. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, I really want to go there. I was a fan of black and white movies. Is that the Turner Classic Movie Planet? I think they still own Turner Classic Movies, right? Oh, I miss you, Robert Osborne. Never been the same since he passed away. All right. Now look, that's the Batman Superman planet. They're so big they share a planet. One side is Gotham, one side is Metropolis. That's fantastic. I love it. Maybe it's the animated one because it's got the blips too. Oh, that's so great. Oh, so cool. So here he's putting together a super team. As I said in my trailer reaction, the fact that Henry Cavill couldn't cameo here is just shocking to me. I mean, like, how does he not? People would go crazy if he cameoed here. And I believe, honestly, that he turned down the Shazam cameo over wanting more money and director approval. And, you know, you want to get along with your studio. And so now he's not in this. It just seems like so obvious. He's got nothing to do. He would love, I don't know. I mean, maybe he wouldn't want to do it since he didn't do the Shazam one. It's sad. All right, so look at this. Gandalf, King Kong. That would be Gandalf's defense. You shall not pass. That'd be so funny. Ian McKellen, I think, might do it. All right, so he and Bugs are putting together a team. They can only pick from the Looney Tunes. I like that Ryan Coogler gets a name credit. He deserves it. Ryan Coogler, I've been a fan of him since Fruitvale Station, his breakout film. Really talented individual. So they're putting together the team. Lola Bunny, we'll talk about more about her outfit when we see her on the court. I think she looks fantastic. So let's see here. So they have this joke about, oh, shoot the ball, and he, of course, shoots it. Very Looney Tunes. July 16th, I'll be there. So this is the court. It seems to be, it looks a little bit to me like it's in Las Vegas, but this is obviously like Toon World. It's on Toon World. But everyone's going to come visit, as you're going to see. The stands are packed. Oh, it's incredible. So he gets turned back into a human, and he has I Promise on his wristbands, and that's the name of his school that he founded. And so I think that's great. So way to get a plug-in for that. Recognition. I really want to call it a plug. And then there's the joke that Bugs just turns back into, I guess he gets, no, he's still 2D, right? Does he get turned into 3D animation maybe? Maybe he does. If it is 3D animation, maybe it is. I thought the joke was he was the same, but maybe it's 3D. He looks pretty, I think it is 3D animation, but he looks very on model. Sometimes when something switches to 3D animation, it doesn't look good. All right, so he switches to 3D animation. There's the Mystery Machine. They have another cameo, but here they are driving through. That's fantastic. Scoob was hanging out the window, as of course a dog will do. So we're driving along here. There's the Iron Giant, and then behind them it says Evil Scientist. That's the Evil Scientist building. Here comes a dragon from Game of Thrones. Oh, I love them. And then here all the Hanna-Barbera characters are showing up. Oh yeah, come on, don't forget. Bam Bam. And then here's King Kong. Seems to have a lot of friends. His movie just debuted, baby. Now look at this. This is incredible. So here's Algae Rhythm with a couple of his friends. There's Pennywise there on the right. You've got one of the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz. That's supposed to be Mr. Freeze. So in some cases, I don't know if they should have used actors playing characters that aren't the actors, because it took me like a couple of minutes to figure out who that was supposed to be. And I was like, oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. He looks not even like anything like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Forget like being a stand-in. But there's someone from The Matrix. Then that's supposed to be Jason Momoa from Game of Thrones back there. And I think that's supposed to be Betty Davis from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. I was like, is that Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? And I looked it up, and it is a Warner Brothers movie. That's insane. I love it. That's a great movie. And so is Feud, about the making of it. It's very good. So here we go. So there's ALG TV, and they're counting the followers on the scoreboard. Hilarious. Boy, look, if you can fly, you get a better seat, it looks like. All right, so let's see. So the game it's a game to watch. So they're like, oh boy. So apparently it goes into extra innings because we have nighttime. Now here shows the Goon Squad, which are superhero versions of famous basketball players, men and women, which I think is really great. You know, the WNBA has become more popular, more respected, and there's been some controversy lately about how women's basketball players aren't treated the same way as men's, even at the college level. So I'm really glad that they've included players and that they upgraded Lola Bunny. So this is fantastic. I don't know if these players even need the additional help, but it makes them very competitive. And you can see that Daffy is like, oh my God, what's Daffy wearing? Is he like the team coach? Yeah, he must be the team coach. That's hilarious. Or maybe he's just the MC because he has a microphone in his hands. That's funny, but Daffy doesn't look like he's playing. So look at this. To launch the ball, they have to step on that like a video game, like you step on it. That's so great. So boy, he's never going to get that. Look how high that guy can jump. Forget it. I mean, LeBron is tall, but he's not super powered. Or is he? So that's his fictional wife, I think, telling him they have to win this game. They're like, we're going to do it. So there's Lola Bunny. She looks great. There's a better shot of her later. His son seems to be sitting with the Goon Squad. Like, what? That is like, that's like a hardcore diss. I'm like, why are you sitting with your dad? He's like, I'm real upset with him. All right, so he takes off. I guess he does maybe have some superpowers, or he's just that good. Oh, there's Penguin there on the left. Boy, that's really small. So there's Penguin. He's near the Mr. Freeze character, and that looks like Penguin also from the Adam West show. They have all these different versions that they're acknowledging all the different versions of their own characters. So I like that his, I guess that's another fictional son. I like that he has a basketball court on his sweater. That's really cool. That's very understated, but awesome. So, oh yeah, there's Lola Bunny. That's the shot I wanted. She looks fantastic. Oh, and she still winks at the camera. She's still really cool, but it looks like she really knows how to play, and she's like a full member of the team. That's really awesome. I think she looks fantastic. I think the redesign is perfect. So there, that's a great shot. That's the one everyone's using to promote this. Boy, look at LeBron's muscles. Oh boy, he's like, that's all real, baby. All right, so here we go. He also has an arm sleeve on, like Lola. So, oh look, there's Space Ghost. Oh, this is hilarious. So I don't know what he runs into. Oh yeah, they do go into 3D animation. That's funny. Boy, you can really see. Bugs Bunny doesn't look like he has fur. He looks like he's made like out of felt. Whoop. I like the Tweety Birds. That's fantastic. Space Jam. All right, here, look. Here's some more. This is a good one. So behind our Goon Squad player here, you've got Mad Max Fury Road. That's, I think that's Cheetara up there for the Thundercats. That is the new superhero. What was his name? Like Blue Falcon from the latest Scooby movie, which I really enjoyed. Are those like the soldiers from Monty Python? Is that a Warner Brothers property? Then you've also got Clockwork Orange. What kind of a reference is that? Then you've got, I think, ice figure characters. You know, the dead from Game of Thrones. Then there's the Scooby Doo gang up there sitting on top of the Mystery Machine. That's just incredible. That's just so great. So here's Granny. But the reaction here, that was really great. Even though he's a robot, I really felt that. I thought that was fantastic. Very well animated. And so, wow, look at those moves. I think she'd be traveling with that walker, but she gets a senior discount. That's hilarious. And look, there's Robin back there, like also from I think the Adam West show. Oh, that's so funny. Oh yeah, and LeBron and Bugs are impressed. And then you can see just tons of characters back there. That's just so cool. I really love that they did some of the more adult IP. That really is fun. And that's something that Warner Brothers has and can do. Oh yeah, I will be there. And here are all these fantastic talent that's involved. Again, mostly people of color, and they just really, again, slam dunked it. We're not going to do knock it out of the park because we're doing basketball. We're doing basketball here. Oh, look, there's the King James on the left and the carrot for Bugs Bunny on the right. Oh, it looks so, so good. All right, so what did you think? Are you impressed with all the IP? What were your favorites that were spotlighted? And how does the film seem to you? And do you feel a little differently about it if you weren't impressed with the first trailer? I don't know why you weren't, but if you weren't, now that you see the depth and the scope of the film, do you maybe feel a little bit better? I appreciated this references in Ready Player One, but I think these are even a little, although the Shining sequence was incredible. All right, share those thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.